everyone, Deidre here from Our Upcycled Life, and welcome to my channel. Today is all about salt wash paint. It is one of my favorite techniques to create a chippy layered look and take a new piece of wood and make it look old and vintage and antique. And this is the piece of wood that I'm going to use today. I think it's probably off an old dresser, a piece of salvaged wood, but we're going to transform it into something that looks like it's 100 years old with salt wash paint. Okay, we got lots of work. Let's get started. To properly prepare the board for painting, I began by creating a surface that the paint's going to easily adhere to. I sanded the board with 80 grit sandpaper to make it easier for the paint to stick, and then I used a hammer to create some dents and notches to make it look more old-fashioned. Once I finished that, I painted it with one coat of my homemade black chalk paint. We are now ready to mix together our salt wash paint. I'm using half a cup of latex paint, half a tablespoon of plaster of Paris, and 1 tablespoon of pickling salt. You can double the recipe if you need more. And you can use any type of salt. The more coarse, the more chippy effect you're going to have. Now we want to thoroughly mix the ingredients together until there's no lumps or clumps in the mixture. The key to this technique is in the application method. Rather than brushing the paint on, gently dab that paintbrush up and down to achieve the desired texture. It's crucial to avoid using paint strokes, as this can mix that paint in with that salt and it's going to ruin that salt wash effect. Instead, gently dab that paintbrush up and down to create the desired texture. Be sure to fully saturate that paintbrush with paint and apply it generously over the entire board. It's essential to allow the first coat to dry completely before proceeding to the next step. Once the salt wash paint has dried, you can put it out in the sun or leave it for a few hours or even overnight. It's time to apply another coat in a contrasting color. This technique allows for endless possibilities, as you can layer multiple colors and each board will have a unique and distinct appearance. It's always exciting to see the final outcome, as you never quite know what you're going to get. If you're interested, I have a booklet available in my Etsy store with all of my favorite painting recipes. You can easily download and print them out on your computer at home, and it's a handy reference to have all the recipes in one place when you're ready to start crafting. I'll put that link down below in the description, and you can check it out if you're interested. I'm now going to set this aside and let it dry completely, and you can see the texture that we're creating already with that salt that's incorporated into this paint recipe. I tend to get carried away with this technique and enjoy seeing different colors peeking through. You don't have to use as many colors if you don't want to, but personally, I love layering as many colors as possible to achieve a beautiful chippy texture. Of course, you can just use 1 or 2 colors if that's your preference. The end result is what matters, and this technique always delivers stunning and unique results. All my colors are completely dry, and now I'm brushing on some homemade white chalk paint to finish the process. While we wait for this to dry, let me tell you all about our new Our Upcycled Life Graphic Club. I'm so excited to announce our Upcycled Life Graphic Club. I love designing graphics for all of my DIY projects, and I've created this program so you can enjoy all of them also at an amazing savings. As a member, when you sign up on Patreon, you're going to receive at least 20 graphics a month in 2 newsletters. One on the 15th and one on the 30th, and sometimes you're going to get even more. I'm always adding into my Etsy store. At the regular price of my graphics in my Etsy store, they're $2.50. So by signing up for this graphic club, you're going to be paying 35 cents a design, and these graphics are going to be an assortment of motivational quotes, pictures, ephemera, and so much more. Also, graphics that are already listed in my shop, you're going to get a discount code for 50% off to purchase any of those. So you're not going to have to go through my shop and try to find my newest creations. You're going to automatically get them in your inbox. And if you're interested in joining, you can click the link below down in the description box to visit my Patreon page. The very first newsletter, when you sign up, you're going to get 5 graphics for free. So if you want to craft with fantastic, fun graphics at an amazing discount price, I would love to have you join our Upcycled Life Graphic Club. Now that it's completely dry, let's get back to work. Using a scraper, we're going to scrape away all the areas where we applied salt. This will reveal the underlying colors of paint, creating a beautiful effect as we scrape away that top layer. You're going to see all the colors that we use, the red, the black, the yellow, the turquoise, along with that natural wood underneath. This process is incredibly satisfying and rewarding as we uncover that beautiful wood and texture and chippy finish underneath. We're going to sand the board now to smooth it out, and I'm using my palm sander with an 80 grit sandpaper to go over the entire surface. It can get pretty dusty, so make sure you do it outside in a well-ventilated area and wear a mask for safety. As you can see, we've easily created a vintage chippy looking piece of wood using salt wash paint, and now it's time to turn it into a sign. This is my go-to transfer method using Mod Podge for reverse graphics, and I'm excited to use all 3 of these coffee graphics on this sign. You can find all of these graphics in my Etsy store. I'll leave the link down below in the description. I resized my graphics in my Word program to fit the sign, and now we're using a light coat of Mod Podge matte on each graphic. If you're not familiar with how to resize graphics, I have a helpful tutorial linked in the description below. I love this technique because it doesn't require any vinyl or stencils or expensive materials. All you need is a printer, either a LaserJet or an inkjet, and some computer paper, Mod Podge, and a little bit of patience to create stunning signs with this method. After 24 hours, I'm dampening the graphic with a sponge and water until it becomes visible and you can see the words or the graphic underneath. Then I'm going to start rubbing off the paper. This technique requires some practice and patience, so don't get discouraged if you're new to it. Take your time, work in small sections, and use only a little bit of water and rub it until all of the paper is removed. If you can master this technique, the possibilities are endless. It's really satisfying to take a piece of scrap wood that was just laying around and probably going to be burnt in a wood pile and turn it into something beautiful with some paints and graphics. This technique is also a great way to make some extra money by selling your DIY projects, so don't be afraid to get creative and give this a try if you haven't. And to finish it off, I sealed it up with some polyacrylic sealer. And here's the final product, and I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. The salt wash paint chippy texture adds a unique charm to the sign, which complements the coffee graphics perfectly. And to be honest, I'm not sure if I can part with it. It may just have to find a spot in my own home. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial on how to make salt wash paint, and make sure to give it a try. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. And if you love this video, I'm sure you're going to love either of these next two. Take care.